Morning, Facebook. So as you're getting ready, please have a pillow or a blanket that you can sit on. Good morning, Kathleen and Dan. Good morning, Sherry. So we'll start sitting. Good morning, Adriana. So please take a good seat. Good morning, Janice. Adjust your legs so that you turn the inner thighs down and you pull slightly out on the flesh of the buttocks. Take the fingertips down on the ground at your sides and lightly push down with the fingertips to get length along the sides of the torso. Move the tops of the shoulders back. Take the head back a little bit. And then we're gonna talk in part this morning about the eyes. And most of the time, the eyes are kind of reaching outward to that external world around us. So without closing the eyes, soften the eyes. So there's a way that the eyes sit deeper into the eye sockets, and there's a sense that then the world comes into the eyes as opposed to the eyes reaching out and looking at the world around. So with a soft gaze and keeping the length in the torso, place the hands up or down on the legs. Good morning, Tina. That's Tina. So in the philosophy of yoga, in a text called the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, there's a list of obstacles that the practice dissolves. And the first obstacle is, in Sanskrit, a word called avidya, and it's frequently translated as ignorance. So the process of the practice dissolves our ignorance. A more accurate translation of avidya is the contrary, or not, in Sanskrit. And then vidya, the root word there, is the same as the root word in video. So it means to see. So we could translate avidya as not seeing. So it's the misunderstandings and misperceptions that arise from not seeing clearly. And a part of the process of the practice is to remove they're often called veils, the veils that obscure our capacity to see clearly, and ultimately to see clearly what we are and what the world around us is. So today we're gonna practice twists and practice softly seeing and working with the eyes in particular ways to facilitate the dissolving of the veils or the clouds that obscure our vision and interfere with our capacity to see clearly that which we are and that and what the world is, and recognize ultimately that that's the. So what constructs us makes up the world around us, and what makes up the world around us makes up each of us. So with that in mind, close your eyes. With the eyes closed, begin to concentrate your attention inside the body. So feel the bones at the base of the pelvis and adjust your sitting position so that the weight is perfectly balanced over the bones at the bottom of the pelvis. So you're not tipped forward or tipped back or slightly to the other side. And then feel into the very center of you. The yogis describe the center of us as a column, an energetic column that extends from the base of the pelvis to the crown of the head. It's just in front of the anatomical spine. So now lengthen that central column so that there's extension from the base of the pelvis up through the body to the crown of the head and even beyond. Move the eyes slightly back away from the eyelids so that your gaze moves toward a soft focus. And if you were to open the eyes, there would be that edge of softness in what you are seeing. Relax the jaw. And bring your attention to your breath. Simply notice the breath cycles. And imagine the breath, like with glass, like a pair of glasses or a window pane, you can gently exhale onto that and then rub off the steam to clear the glass. So imagine the breath doing that on the inner body. The inhale, creating that layer of warmth and steam and polishing. And we can even think of the asana practice as polishing the inner body, and then the exhale, releasing the debris so that we move toward a clearer vision. And gently bow your head to your heart. Release your hands, lift your head, and stay in the seated position that you're in. If you have your legs crossed, you might want to change the cross of the legs. We're going to be here for a moment or two. The first thing, or the next thing that we're going to do, is a breath called Kapalabhati. It's a breath of fire, and it involves a strong exhalation using the contraction of the abdominal muscles. So place your hands, maybe I will move back away from back to my mat. So from your seated position, place your hands so that the middle fingers are on either side of the navel. And just for a moment or two, as you inhale, draw the belly outward into the hands, and then as you exhale, use the abdominal muscles to draw the navel back a little bit more fully. So inhale, belly out, exhale, belly back. If that rhythm is feeling foreign and unfamiliar to your body, and you tend to inhale and pull the navel in, and exhale, press the navel out, then you're going to just pause here and see if you can switch that rhythm. So again, it's inhale, belly out, exhale, belly in. If that rhythm is happening, we're going to add a forceful exhalation, and you don't have to pay any attention to the inhale, really, and you're going to draw the navel in and quite forcefully press the air out through the nostrils. So it will have a sound, and it will sound like this. So we're going to do that about 10 times with about a 1 second inhalation pause in between the forceful exhalations. So with the hands on the belly, close the eyes, or at least soften the gaze. Inhale into the navel. Exhale. Pull the navel in. belly out, exhale. Inhale, belly out, exhale, pull it in. And continue like this 4 or 5 more times. Pause. Soften the jaw and the eyes. And we'll do that one more time. So inhale, navel out. Exhale, pull it back. Inhale, exhale. So continue like this 7 or so more times. And then pause. That's considered a cleansing breath, so it helps to, again, dissolve those interferences with our capacity to clearly see. Now we'll do a seated twist here before we move. So with the next breath in, lift the rib cage off the pelvis so that there's a slight toning of the low belly and the navel draws back just a little bit, but the lower back is still curved in. Now, exhale, twist the rib cage to the right. Take the left hand to the right knee or the thigh. Reach the crown of the head up toward the sky, and now as you exhale, twist a little deeper. Take your right hand for a moment to the side of your left rib cage, the left side of your rib cage, and lightly draw the rib cage around with your hand. Turn your head, turn your gaze, and now close the right eye and look to the right with your left eye. Inhale, come back to center, and exhale, release. So, lift the rib cage up, inhale, second side. As you exhale, spin the rib cage to the left. Put the right hand on the left leg. Momentarily put the right hand behind you. So we want to use the intrinsic strength of the body to initiate the twist. So here you're not using your arms so much. Take your left hand to the right side of the rib cage. With your next exhalation, lightly draw the right side of the rib cage around to the left. Put the left hand back behind you, fingers pointing away. Stretch up through the crown of the head. Now as you exhale, twist the torso, turn the head, close the right eye, and look to the left. Sorry, close the left eye, look to the left with the right eye. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, and then come all the way up to stand. So stand near the front of your mat. Yep. We're going to do a side bend first. So feet together. And with the feet together, you can put the right hand on your right hip. And if your left arm is not happy going overhead, you can put your left hand on your hip. If it's possible, inhale, stretch the left arm up alongside the left ear. Shift the hips to the left, and as you exhale, lean over to the right. Slide the right hand down the right leg toward the shin. Squeeze the legs together. Push down into the heels. Lengthen the left side of the torso. Move the head slightly back, and then turn the center of the heart and the head a little bit to the left. Pelvis stays facing forward. It's just a little turn. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, that hand down. Second side. Inhale, right arm up. Lengthen up through the right side of the torso. As you exhale, shift your hips to the left. To the right, lean over to the left. Squeeze the legs together. Press into the heels. Breathe along the right side of the torso. And then, just slightly, turn the center of the chest and the head to the right. Soften the eyes. One more breath. Inhale up. Exhale, hands down. Separate the feet hip bone distance apart and face the short edge of the mat. Standing forward bend. Inhale. As you exhale, bend the knees a little bit, hinge at the tops of the thighs, fold down over the legs, touch your fingertips to the ground. Bending the knees a little bit, push the heels apart. And then, for the morning, it's usually a good idea to do these little pulses that we often do with the breath. So with the knees bent, hang the head, and then push the heels apart, stretch the legs a little straighter. Exhale, bend them back down again, release the torso over the legs. Inhale, press the legs a little straighter, pushing the heels apart. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees a little bit. Couple more times. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend and fold a little deeper. 2 more. So once your knees are bent this time, place the fingertips beside the feet. Inhale, step the left foot back, straight leg lunge. So right knee over right heel. Plant your right heel strongly and shift your hips a little bit to the left. Squeeze the legs together. Lift the top of your back thigh up off the ground. Then lengthen the torso so the crown of the head reaches out away from the pelvis. And now squeezing your legs together strongly, take your hands just 1 inch up off the ground and feel the work in your legs holding you. Make sure you haven't shifted your hips to the right. And then place the fingertips back down, push off with the back foot, step forward, exhale. Inhale, right foot back, straight leg lunge. So the right foot is roughly lined up with the hand. Right hand. And then place the left knee over the left heel and push strongly down into your left heel. Shift your hips a bit to the right. Lift the top of the right thigh up away from the earth and push back through your right foot. Squeeze the legs together and lift your hands 1 inch up off the ground. Soften your gaze so that there's this constant sense that the eyes are kind of in the deeper in the eye sockets, and the world is coming to you. 1 more breath. Fingertips down. Place the hands flat. Step back and come down onto your hands and knees. So if you need a blanket for your knees, take a blanket. Place the hands under the shoulders, shoulder distance apart. Scoop up the low belly. We're going to do these thoracic spine mobilizers. So we're working the spine in between the shoulder blades. So scooping up the low belly, tilt the tailbone just a tiny bit toward the backs of the knees. Draw the shoulder blades strongly away from the ears. And now without bending the elbows, as you exhale, sink the center of the heart down toward the thumbs. Inhale, puff the back of the heart up toward the sky. Exhale, center of the chest down toward the thumbs. Exhale, space between the shoulder blades lifts up toward the sky. So you're trying not to move the lower back or the pelvis and concentrate the movement right in between the shoulder blades. A few more times. Feel the spine between the shoulder blades move deeper into the body as the heart drops toward the thumbs. And feel the spine between the shoulder blades move toward the sky as you lift the back of the heart up. 2 more times. And then pause in a neutral position. From here we're going to do plank. If you're not weight bearing more than this on your hands, then you can repeat what we just did. Otherwise, walk the hands a little forward. Separate the hands hands shoulder distance apart. Plant the finger pads and the knuckles at the base of the fingers. Scoop up the low belly and tilt the tailbone toward the backs of the knees and bring the shoulder blades away from the ears. Then keep that. Stretch one leg straight and then the other. Lift the low belly and the navel back toward the spine. Bend the elbows a little bit. Keep the shoulder blades moving away from the ears. And then press back through your heels and reach forward through the crown of the head. Breathe. Few more breaths. And now from here, lift the hips up and back into downward facing dog, and then standing forward bend. So look forward, bend the knees, walk the feet up to the hands. Separate the feet well. Line the outer edges of the feet up with the long edges of the mat and fold down over the legs. Bend the knees as you need to. Touch the fingertips to the ground. Push the heels apart. Stretch the legs straighter. If the legs are straightening now, hug the outer hips in and peel the low belly lightly back off the tops of the thighs. One more breath. Bend the knees, place the hands at the hips, lift the chin, inhale, come up. Exhale, feet together, one more standing side bend. Inhale, left arm up alongside the left ear. Right hand on the right thigh, or you could stretch the right arm alongside the right ear, and if it works for your arms, you could interlace the fingers and point the first finger up. Squeeze the arms toward the head, lift the rib cage up until you feel a little tone in the low belly, and then shifting the hips to the left, exhale, lean to the right. Squeeze the legs together, push into the heels. Turn very slightly the center of the heart and the head to the left. And then extend out through your left fingertips. Inhale, come up. If you interlace the fingers, change the interlacing so the other thumb is on top. Press down into the heels. Inhale, stretch up. And then exhale the second side. So shift your hips to the right, lean to the left. Plant your heels. Squeeze the legs together. Turn the center of the heart and the head slightly to the right. And soften the gaze. As you soften the gaze, look within. So part of you is turning in to see, metaphorically, what's happening inside the body, inside the mind, inside the breath, even as you also take in the world around you. Inhale up, release the hands, exhale. Sweep the arms down, separate the feet. Inhale, standing forward bend. Exhale, fold forward. We're going to repeat all of this one more time. So bend the knees, place the fingertips beside the feet. Inhale, left foot back, straight leg lunge. Lift the left thigh up. Shift your hips a bit to the left. Hug your right hip in. Squeeze the legs together. Take your hands 1 inch up off the ground. Either stay here, or if you like, just stretch the arms out alongside the ears. That just makes it more difficult. There's no other benefit. And then exhale, hands back down. Step the back foot forward, exhale. Inhale, second side. Right foot back, straight leg lunge. Shift your hips a bit to the right and squeeze your legs together, especially feel the outside of your left hip and the left lower half of the buttocks contract. Scoop up the low belly, and then inhale, lift the hands 1 inch up off the ground, or forward alongside the ears. Breathe. Exhale, hands down. Step your front foot back, come onto your hands and knees. Position the hands underneath the shoulders. Take the blanket to support the knees as needed. Draw the shoulder blades away from the ears. Tilt the tailbone slightly toward the heels, and then without moving the pelvis or the lower back, exhale, center of the heart toward the thumbs. Inhale, puff the back of the heart toward the sky. Exhale, front of the chest down. Inhale, back of the chest up. A few more times. Last one. So when you've puffed up toward the sky, the back of the heart, then come into a neutral position, plank pose, or you continue with that movement. So if you're doing plank, walk the hands a little more forward. Bring the shoulders over the ears. Lift up the low belly and turn the tailbone toward the backs of the knees. Then stretch the legs straight one at a time. Keep tilting the buttocks toward the heels and draw up the low belly. Bring the shoulder blades away from the ears and slightly bend the elbows to work the triceps. And then reach your heels back toward the wall behind you and the crown of the head for you. Couple more breaths. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then look forward and walk to your hands, standing forward bend. With the knees a little bit bent, touch the fingertips to the ground. Press the heels out away from each other. Stretch the legs straighter. If the legs are straight and the body is available to that positioning, hug the outer hips in and draw the low belly off the tops of the legs. Bring your hands to your hips, bend your knees a little bit, lift the chin. Inhale, come up. Exhale, face the long edge of the mat. Warrior two. Inhale, step the feet really wide apart. Turn the left foot slightly in. Pivot the right leg and foot out. Descend the shoulder blades. Inhale, take the arms to the sides. As you exhale, rotate the whole arm so that the palms face up, so that rotation's happening at the shoulder socket, and then turn just your hands down. Inhale, reach back through your left hand. Exhale, deeply bend your right knee. Track your right knee straight over your middle toes. Push into your left heel. Press the right heel down and scoop your right hip underneath you to again keep the knee tracking over the middle toes. Hug the low belly slightly back. Stretch through the crown of the head and turn to look out past your right fingertips. Push into your heels. Inhale, stretch your right leg straight. Exhale, lower the arms and turn the feet. And then the second side, so spin the right foot slightly in. Rotate the left leg and foot out. Inhale the arms to the sides. Exhale, rotate them so that the palms turn up. And then turn just the palms down. Inhale here, reach back through the right hand, push into the right heel, and then exhale, bend the left knee. As you bend the left knee, track it over the middle left toes. Drop the sitting bones down. Just slightly twist the center of the heart to the right and reach out through your right fingertips. Then turn your head to the left and soften the gaze as you look out over your left finger. One more breath. Push down into your heels. Inhale, stretch your front leg straight. Exhale, lower the arms. Turn the feet and inhale, step the feet together or hop. Extended side angle. Inhale, the feet wide apart. Turn to the right, so left foot slightly in, right leg and foot out. Inhale the arms to the sides. Exhale, deeply bend your front knee just like you did. Twist the center of the heart to the left and reach out through your left fingertips. Now put your right hand on your thigh or your right forearm and your left hand on your hip. Pause here for a moment. Track the front knee over the middle toes. Your right hip underneath you. Push into your left heel. Descend your right shoulder blade and twist the center of the heart strongly to the left. Turn the head to the left. If it works for your shoulder, now stretch the left arm straight up and then possibly slide the right hand down toward the ground inside the right foot. But keep the center of the heart turning to the left. Push into both heels. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower the arms, turn the feet. And then the second side. Right foot slightly in, left leg and foot out. Inhale the arms to the sides. Exhale, bend your left knee. Drop your left forearm to your thigh, put your right hand on your hip, pause. Press into your right heel. Press the front knee out so it's over the middle toes. Then descend the left shoulder blade. Twist the center of the heart to the right. Turn the head to the right. And then if it works, inhale, stretch the right arm straight up. Keep the center of the heart turning to the right. And then exhale, perhaps take the left hand down to the ground inside your left foot. What's most significant today is that you're twisting the center of the heart to the right. Soften the eyes. Push into your heels. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, turn the feet, lower the arms. Inhale, step or hop the feet together. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. Inhale, step the feet apart. Turn the left foot slightly in. Rotate the right leg and foot out. Inhale, stretch the arms to the sides. Now firm your front thigh, but micro bend your front knee and hug your right hip more underneath you. Then reach out to the right. But now as you reach out to the right, twist the center of the heart back to the left and reach your left hand. And then take your right hand down to your shin or ankle. Put your left hand on your left hip. Plant your heels. Scoop your right hip underneath you and lean your shoulders and your head back toward the wall behind you. Now, like we did when we were seated, take the left hand to the right side of the rib cage. Lift it up away from the hip and then twist the rib cage to the left. Turn the head to the left and then releasing the left arm, stretch the left arm straight. One more breath. Push into your heels. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower the arms. Bring the feet to center. And then the second side. So turn the right foot in. Rotate the left leg and foot out. Inhale the arms to the sides. Slightly bend your left knee, firm your left thigh. Hug your left hip underneath you. Inhale. Exhale, reach out. As you reach out, push into your back heel. Twist the center of the heart to the right. Even look a bit to the right. Put your left hand on your shin or your ankle. Left hand on your hip. Press from your right hip down into your right heel. Firm your left thigh. Now drop your left shoulder blade away from your left ear and bring your right hand to your left side ribs. Inhale, pull them out of the pelvis, and then as you exhale, twist the rib cage around to the right. Turn the head to the right, and then maybe stretch the right arm straight up. Soften the gaze. If your right arm is in the air and your head is back, you could close your right eye and look at your right thumb with your left eye. That's just an added bonus. push into both heels. Inhale, come up. Turn the feet. Inhale, step the feet together. Face the short edge of the mat. Standing forward bend. Inhale, separate the feet, wide apart. Lift the center of the heart up. And now as you exhale, fold over the legs again. Bend the knees as you need to, touch the fingertips to the ground. Let the head hang, and especially when the head is hanging, soften the face and soften the eyes. Push the heels apart. Stretch the legs straighter. If your legs are straight, hug the outer hips together and lightly draw the low belly back off the tops of the thighs. Release the head completely. We're going to come onto our back. So one option is you just bring your hands to your hips, lift the chin, stand up, and then lie on your back. The other option is that you come onto your back from downward facing dog. So if you're doing Adho Mukha Svanasana, bend the knees, place the hands flat, step the feet back, away from the hand. Inhale here, and then as you exhale, drop the knees to the ground. Here's a place where it's a good idea to have a blanket for your head. We're doing abdominal work now, and having the head lifted and the back of the neck long can help us access the abdominal muscles. So lying on your back, bend the knees, place the feet on the ground. Curve the lower back just a little bit away from the ground in a natural curve. And then put your hands on either side of the navel. And just take a couple of breaths here. Noticing, like with the forceful breath that we did at the beginning of the practice, notice that as you exhale, the navel draws down and the low belly tones. If that's not happening, ask that to happen. And when you inhale, the navel lifts up and the low belly releases. So we want to keep the low belly down. So now on the next exhale, feel the low belly drop toward the spine, toward the back of the pelvis. Tone that, keep it even as you inhale. So forces the breath a little more into the rib cage. Now maintain the low belly down, the breath moving through the rib cage, and one at a time bring your knees up over your hips, making sure that the low belly doesn't pop up. Keeping the low belly down, flex the feet a little bit, squeeze the hips together, and then you can keep your hands at your sides, or you could place your hands on the center of your thighs and your legs and your hands against each other. Soften the eyes, release the jaw, relax the neck, hold. Exhale, place the feet on the ground. Lift the hips up, shift them a bit to the right. Stretch the arms out at shoulder height and turn the palms up. So this is an oblique exercise, Jatara Parivartanasana. Doesn't really have an English translation. So lift the knees toward the chest and squeeze the legs together. Keep a little curve in the lower back and tone the low belly. So it's just like what you did in the previous position. Squeezing the knees together. As you exhale, take the knees toward the left elbow. Twist the center of the heart to the right and stretch out into your right fingertips. Inhale, lift the knees back up. We'll do 4 more times on the same side. So exhale, knees down toward the left elbow. Twist the heart to the right. Inhale, back up. Both shoulder blades are on the ground. Inhale up, 2 more. Squeeze the legs together through the entire movement. And then when you've come back up, exhale, feet on the ground. Lift the hips up, move through center to the left. Now reach out through your left fingertips. Lift the knees in toward the chest, keep a little curve in the lower back. And then twisting the center of the chest to the left, drop the knee, right elbow. Now come back up. Exhale the knees down. Inhale back up. If that breath rhythm doesn't work for you, just make sure you're breathing. Two more. Today, concentrate on twisting the heart away from the knees. Tone the low belly. Last one. Once you're up, place the feet on the ground. Even your hips, and we'll repeat the first one a second time. So, with a little curve in the lower back, tone the low belly as you exhale. Keep that. Force breath to move a little more in the rib cage. Hands at your sides. Lift the knees just over the hips without puffing the low belly. Keep the hands at the sides or place the hands on the thighs. So the knees are just over the hips and the shins are parallel to the ground. Relax the throat and the jaw. Tone the low belly. Lightly squeeze the legs. Notice the eyes. For most of us in this position, the eyes automatically turn in. And then exhale and release. So it's an interesting thing that in that position, there's often a real softness and a concentration in the gaze that happens quite automatically. Roll to your right side, remove the blanket, come all the way back up to stand. Warrior one. Inhale, step the feet really wide apart. Turn the left foot in 60 degrees. Rotate the right leg and foot out. And then turn the body to face the short edge of the mat. So you spin the left leg around as much as possible. And move the right as needed to square your rib cage to the short edge of the mat. So you can either keep your hands on your hips, or if shoulders are happy with the arms overhead, take the arms overhead. You can interlace the fingers and point the first finger up as we did in the second standing side bend. Push your back heel down. Exhale. Bend your front knee, tracking it over your middle toes. And drop the hips down in between the knees. As you push into the back leg, spin the left side of the ribs forward. Point the front. Lift up through the torso. Pick the rib cage out of the pelvis. Take the head back. Look up a little bit. Push into your heels. Inhale, stretch the front leg straight. Exhale, turn the feet. Lower. Line up the toes if they've moved. And then spin the the right foot in 60 degrees. Take the left leg and foot out, move it to the left. Face the short edge of the mat. Inhale the arms up overhead if you did that on the first side, and change the interlacing of the fingers. Push your back heel down. Exhale, bend your front knee, track it over your middle toes. Turn the right side of the rib cage more forward while continuing to push into the right heel. Over the middle left toes. Lengthen the torso, reach the fingertips up toward the sky if the arms are overhead. Take the head back a little bit, look up. Breathe. turn the feet, lower the arms. Inhale, step the feet together. Baby dancer pose. So this is the balancing position. You need a wall for balance. Start with your right hand at the wall. We're going to stand on the right foot first. So here, the gaze is very important. So you want to pick a focus point, but at the same time keep the gaze soft. Stand firmly on your right foot. Hug your right hip in, so your right buttocks is strong, and press into the big toe side of the right foot. Put the right hand on the wall for balance if you're using the wall. Bend the left knee, catch your left ankle, or foot, or your pants. So if you're steady here, you can stretch the right arm alongside the right ear. And then flexing the right foot, you're kicking, the left foot. Kick the left shin back, lean forward, reach the heart forward. So the advantage of this position in this sequence is that you're moving the entire spine deep into the body here. So as you move the entire spine deep into the body, curl the heart up, kick back through the shin, lift the back knee, and then inhale, come back up. Exhale, release, change sides. So this time your left hand is at the wall if you're using the wall. Stand very strongly on your left foot, hug your left hip in. Focus your gaze, soften the gaze. Bend your right knee, catch your right foot, the top of the foot, the ankle, or your pants. Left hand at the wall if you're using the wall. Curl the heart up. Then, as you bring the torso forward, kick the shin. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, and release. Face the short edge of the mat. Revolved lunge, Parvati Parshvakonasana. So starting from a straight leg forward bend, inhale. Exhale, fold down over the legs. Bend the knees until the fingertips touch the ground. And take the feet as wide, take the heels as wide as the baby toes. So the outsides of the feet are parallel, the long edges of the mat. Take a breath or two here, let the head hang, soften the gaze. So part of what happens when we soften the gaze is we kind of erase the previous pose, like the critique of it, the storyline of it, and we move into this position. So we're seeing unencumbered by the remnants of the past, even though the imprint is still in the body, so we can draw on that. Bend the knees. Inhale, step the left foot all the way back into a straight leg lunge. Lift the top of the back thigh up well. Track your front knee over your middle toes. Hug the hips together and bring your hands to your front knee. So keeping your right hand on your right knee, reach your left arm out alongside your left ear and lift the center of the heart up. Now as you exhale, cross the left elbow over the right knee and join the palms together. Or if you know that you can touch the fingertips of the left hand down to the ground easily, then do that and stretch the right arm up. Twist the center of the heart to the right, toward the thumbs. Track your right knee over your middle toes. Back thigh. One more breath. Inhale, unwrap, touch the ground. Exhale. And then as you inhale, step the back foot forward. Take a breath or two here. And then the second side. So keep the left foot forward. Step the right leg back, lunge. Set up the lunge, so track the front knee. Shift the hips a little bit to the right. Firm the outer hips. Bring the hands to the front knee, keeping your back thigh strong and straight. And then inhale the right arm forward. Lift the heart up. And now as you exhale, cross. Right elbow over left thigh. Palms together or right fingertips down, left hand up. As you bend the front knee over the toes, squeeze your outer hips together. Lengthen the torso, lift the center of the heart up a little bit and twist the center of the heart toward the thumbs. One more breath. Inhale, unwrap, touch the ground, exhale. Inhale, step the back foot forward, standing forward bend. So now this is the end of the standing poses. So this forward bend, we want to invite a little more straightness in the legs depending on what's available in the body. So as you take your heels out enough that the outer edges of the feet are parallel, push the heels apart without really moving them on the mat. And use that to help propel the legs a little straighter. Thinking about a straight line from the backs of the heels up to the buttocks. Squeeze the outer hips together. Peel the low belly off the tops of the legs and descend the torso. So do pulse the legs or do keep the knees bent if that gives you more access to the pose. And make sure you're feeling the sensations in the center of the backs of the thighs and not right behind the knees or right at the sitting bones. Couple more breaths here. Bend the knees, place the hands flat. So we're going to do downward facing dog next in the process of lying on our stomach. So you can make your way to your stomach and whatever series of movements is good for your body. If it works for you to step back into downward facing dog, do that. And then inhale the shoulders over the wrists like you're doing plank. Drop your knees to the ground and slowly come onto your stomach. On your stomach, just take a moment here. So you can take that moment with your head turned to one side or the other side, or with your forehead or your chin on the ground. When we're lying on our stomach, any irregularity in our breath pattern typically begins to even out. So you may notice that as you inhale, the belly moves against your mat. And as you exhale, the belly moves slightly back. Soften the eyes and turn the gaze inward to the breath so that you use the felt sense and the visualization of the breath moving inside the body to keep the gaze inward. And then we maintain that inward connection even as we open the eyes. So now when you're ready, gently open the eyes, keeping the gaze soft. Take your hands back by your thighs. Shalabhasana, locust pose. So, feet a few inches apart. Roll so that you're right on the very thighs. More on the outer half of the thighs even than the inner half. Scoop up the low belly, firm the muscles of the buttocks. So we're going to lift the head, shoulders, arms, and legs if lifting the legs isn't appropriate for your lower back. You could do one leg the first time and the second leg the second time, or you could just lift the head, chest, and the arms. So from here, exhale completely. Inhale and lift up. Lift the tops of the thighs and reach back through the feet. Curl the heart up, lift the chest, lift the chin, reach the fingertips toward the feet, and then exhale and come down. Turn again onto the center of the thighs. One thing, I don't often articulate this, but one thing, if you know that you have an imbalance side to side in your pelvis, so one leg is
stronger one. Hip is more mobile. There's some difference there. You might want to do this with the feet touching, the big toes touching, so that you make sure you're lifting both legs the same amount. Sometimes we'll lift one leg more than the other. Putting the legs together sometimes makes it a little more strenuous on the lower back, so you have to play with the give and take there. So fingertips by the legs, turn the palms up, scoop up the low belly, lift the tops of the shoulders away from the ground, and then with your legs straight and strong, when you're ready, up you come. As you lift the tops of the thighs, reach back through the feet. Curl the head and shoulders away from the ground, reach the fingertips toward the feet. 2 more breaths. Exhale, come down. A cobra pose, but we're going to do the bent arm version. Often we do it from Sphinx, but today we're going to do it with the arms bent. So place the hands so that the fingertips are roughly under the tops of the shoulders. Draw the shoulder blades away from the ears. Scoop up the low belly, firm the muscles of the buttocks. Roll onto the center of the thighs and reach back through your feet. Now drag your hands toward your feet. Inhale, curl the head and chest up away from the ground without really using your hands. You could lift your hands a bit up off the ground right now. And then drag the hands toward the feet and wiggle the rib cage forward. Drop the shoulder blades and curl the heart up. So you still don't have much weight in your hands. Now you can push about 1/3 of the weight down into the hands, curl the chest up, keep the elbows bent, shoulder blades away from the ears. Inhale, exhale, and come down. So roughly the hands in the same line, but just take the hands way off the mat and come all the way up on your hips. This is spider cobra. Turn the thighs in with the turn the thighs in. Scoop up the low belly. Firm the muscles of the buttocks. Turn the hands slightly out to the sides and draw the shoulder blades away from your ears. Now, keeping the low belly engaged and the buttocks. Inhale, lift the head and shoulders up. Now push all the way into the hands and curl the torso away from the ground. Drop the shoulder blades down. Pull the rib cage, the sides of the rib cage, forward. Reach the center of the heart forward. Move the head lightly back. Lift the chin up slightly. Inhale. Exhale, come all the way down. Release your hand. So downward facing dog, unless you're not weight bearing on your hands. In which case, just lay here for a few minutes and then you'll join us in a seated position momentarily. The hands under the shoulders if you're doing auto. Tuck the toes under. Inhale, lift up and press back. Often, downward facing dog can be a neutral pose, meaning we can create the curves that are natural and anatomically present in the spine. So bend the knees a little bit. Lift the sitting bones up slightly so that you curve the lower back into the body. Then pull the hips back away from the hands. Keep the curve in the lower back. Stretch the legs straight. Micro bend the elbows. Turn the triceps toward the head. And then drop the spine between the shoulder blades deeper into the body, like we did earlier on our hands and knees. Exhale, bend the knees to the ground. So now take your blanket or your pillow, whatever you're going to sit on. Fold it up so that you have enough height. We're going to do a couple of seated twists now. And when we do the seated twists, it's desirable, necessary to have the capacity to move the top of the pelvis in the back of the body in and up so that there's the natural
and the lower back isn't rounding in any way. So that when we twist, a natural curve in the lower back, and that gives us length and lift in the torso, in the front of the torso. So you're gonna sit on support and stretch the legs straight out in front of you. Turn your thighs in. And with the legs out in front of you, move the left foot over 45 degrees or so. And bend the right leg so that the knee comes to the chest. So we're going to do Marichasana 1 as a twist. So you're going to take the left hand at your side, a little bit behind you, and then inhale the right arm up. Open the right knee a little bit and bring the right side of the torso on the inside of your thigh. Bend the right elbow and press the elbow against the shin thigh of the leg. So now you've come forward a bit. Lift the torso up. Lift the center of the heart up, and then pushing your right knee against your right arm and your right arm back against your knee. Twist the center of the heart to the left. Take the left fingertips down on the ground beside you with the left fingers pointing back toward the wall behind you. Roll the left shoulder back. Move your head back a bit. Twist the torso. Turn the head. Close the left eye. Twist the head to the left using your right eye. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale. Release. Stretch that leg straight. So you move the right leg over at about 45 degrees, turn it in. So the right leg stays pointing straight up. Bend the left knee. Bring the left heel toward the left hip. It doesn't have to be all the way bent, depending on your knee. And then with the right hand at the side, lift the left arm up. Open the knee, and then you bring the torso forward so that the rib cage comes inside the knee, and then you spin the rib cage to the right and put the left against the knee, bringing the knee back into the arm. So now use the right hand to propel the torso a little forward and up. Then twist the center of the heart to the right. Take the right hand perhaps a little more back behind you. Move the head back. Curl the heart up. Twist the head to the right. Close the right eye. Look to the right with your left eye. Inhale, come back to center. Release. Exhale. Both legs out straight. Join the legs together for a moment. Turn your thighs in. Make sure you can establish that curve in the lower back. And then Marichasana 3. So you're going to open the left leg just like we did. Bend the right knee, bringing the right heel toward the right sitting bone. It's the same idea. We're going to stretch the left arm up, come forward, but this time we're going to wrap the arm around, or some of you might cross for this time. So keeping the left leg pointing up, inhale, lift the left arm up, bring the torso forward against the leg. Exhale, wrap around. So just for a moment, without using your right hand, lift the torso up. Twist the torso to the right. Take your right hand to your left rib cage. Pull it around. Drop your shoulder blades. Without using your hands, keep your legs strong. Lift the torso up using the strength of your abdominals and your back. Turn the head. Turn the head using your left eye. Look to the right with your left eye. Soften the gaze. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale. legs out straight. Second side. So move the right leg to the right, then the left leg. So keep the right leg strong and straight, the right knee and the foot pointing up. Inhale the right arm up. Come forward, so your torso and your leg come close together, wrap around. Take your left hand to your right ribs, twist. And then hold your right wrist with your left hand. Keeping the right leg strong, push your left heel down. Inhale, lengthen up through the torso, especially lengthen on the right side of the torso. And as you exhale, take your right ribs toward your left thigh. Move your head back. Lift the heart, turn the heart to the left, turn the head to the left. Turn the head to the left using your right eye. Look to the left with your right eye. And now, as you come out, inhale, come back to center, exhale, and just take a breath here. Soften the gaze. And we're going to do one last time. So ideally, we're working the diaphragm here in the mid-back, in the twists. So that's ideally where I would like you to have the most sensation, not in the lower back. So left leg a little bit to the left, then the right leg. So this time you can stay wrapped with your right hand this time behind you, or you can hook the elbow across. Whatever works better for your body. Inhale, left arm up, keep the left leg strong, push into your right heel. Now tip the right knee in toward the midline, lean the torso forward and either wrap around or hook across. Bring the knee upright, drop your left shoulder blade. Use your right hand to help twist the left ribs to the right. And then take your right fingertips behind you. Use your right fingers to keep the torso moving toward the thigh. Take the head back. Lift the heart up. Exhale. Tone the low belly and twist the torso. Look to the right with your left eye. Breathe. Often the breath is constricted here, and then it's getting that, the breath we're using to clear the veils of distortion that interfere with our capacity to clearly see. When the breath is constricted, the senses are constricted. Inhale back to center. Exhale. Release everything, legs out straight. Notice the breath here. Second side. Take the right foot over to the right, bend the left leg in. Plant your left heel. Bring your torso forward. Keep the right leg straight. Inhale the right arm up. Tip the knee across. And then leaning forward, wrap or hook the right arm over. Bring the knee back upright. Take the left hand behind you. Drop the shoulder blades. Twist the right rib cage to the left. Move the head back. Lift the heart. Twist. Turn the head to the left using the right eye. Soften the eyes. Breathe into the constriction. Inviting the breath to explore new places. Inhale back to center. Exhale and release. We're going to do a cross-legged forward bend. Now, if it's more appropriate for you to lie on your back and do the number 4 position, that would be the other choice. So a blanket for your head if you're on your back. So if you're on your back, you're crossing your right ankle on your left thigh and then maybe lifting up. You could also just stay here. If you're seated, let's do right leg in first, left leg outside. Flex the feet a little bit, and you want your feet, relatively speaking, under the knees. With your hands, turn your thighs. Descend the buttocks. Tone the low belly. Place your fingertips in front. Exhale, walk the hands out and come forward. Keep sinking the buttocks down and reach out through the crown of the head. Breathe. A few more. Walk the hands back in. Inhale, come on up. Change the legs. So if you're on your back, now you're going to cross your left ankle on your right thigh. If you're seated, the left shin is in first, and the right shin is on the outside. Turn the thighs in. Again, knees closer together. Eventually, knees not that much wider than the outside of your pelvis. Fingertips in front. Descend the buttocks. Draw the low belly lightly back. And then walk the hands forward. Lengthen from the tailbone to the crown of the head. So you come forward any amount, but recognizing that this is toward we're moving now towards Shavasana. So instead of making this most effortful, we want to make it having enough of an ease to transition us toward the final relaxation. For some people, flexing the feet a little bit will help with ankle or knee sensitivity. Two more breaths. Walk the hands back in. Inhale, come up. So sit for a moment. You can sit on a blanket. You can sit in any way that's comfortable. So if you're more comfortable now with the knees a little wider and the feet more in line with the center of the torso, or if you're more comfortable sitting on your heels, do that. We're going to do a couple of eye exercises. These are from classical yoga, classical hatha yoga, and they were some of the things I learned initially when I first started to do yoga many years ago, but they've kind of fallen out of fashion. We're going to do them today. So if you're wearing glasses, take them off. Place your hands on the legs. Relax the face and soften the eyes. So now we're going to take the eyes around in a clockwise motion and then a counterclockwise motion. So lift the eyes up to 12 o'clock, so you're looking straight up. And then moving in a clockwise direction, take the eyes to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, back to 12. A couple more times like this, slowly moving around the clock face, so at your own rhythm. Move the eyes around and down, and then around and up. One more time in this direction. Keep the jaw soft. There might be numbers on the clock face where the eyes are unused to going. So just notice that. You want to make a smooth and complete circle around the clock face as possible. Now when you're back to 12, pause. Soften the gaze. And then the other side. So we're going to go counter. Take the eyes to 12 o'clock, then to 11, 10, 9 o'clock, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock. 2 more times in this counterclockwise direction. Each number on the clock face, circling the eyes all the way around as wide out as possible. And then last one. When you're back up to 12, then soften the eyes. Take your hands, clasp your hands together. Rub your hands strongly together. When you've generated heat, close your eyes and cup your hands over your eyes, bathing the eyes in warmth. And letting this combination of movement through the practice and movement around the clock face, and now this warm, dark bath to dissolve the interferences that prevent us from seeing clearly, and ultimately seeing ourselves clearly, not from a seat of judgment or evaluation, but simply as we are, as all that we are. And then to be able to see the world around us and those others that we encounter as all that they are. And ultimately to see that we are made of the same material, the fabric of the universe molded into everything that we see. Slowly, just slide the hands down and off the body. Open the eyes, keeping the gaze soft. And then lie down on your back, supporting the head with a blanket. We're going to do a simple breath exercise. So you're going to lie down, head supported, knees back, feet on the ground, knees together, touching. You want to just find a really comfortable position, so you can adjust feet a little wider, a little further from the body, whatever way allows you to have a natural curve and a sense that the feet are grounded, sliding away or tight in. And then bring your hands to your ribs or to the side. We're simply going to lengthen the breath in this count. We're going to inhale for 9. Not for 9, sorry. We're going to inhale for 5 or 6. Hold for 5 or 6. Exhale for 5 or 6. So you want to find a count that works in your breath, and not necessarily something that is prescribed by me. So, close your eyes. Open the eyes. Tilt the gaze lightly down toward the heart. Relax the jaw completely. So again, you can place the hands on the torso, the rib cage, one on the belly, one on the chest, sides. And you're simply going to lengthen the breath a little bit. Have a pause at the top of the inhalation. That's the same count. And then the same count exhalation. No little pause after the exhale unless it happens spontaneously. So exhale fully. Inhale slowly, long, slow breath for a 5 or 6 count. Hold the breath, keeping the jaw soft, the eyes quiet for the same count. Equally long, slow exhale for the same count. Inhale. Hold. Jaw soft. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Two more. In the hold, make sure that the jaw is relaxed and the eyes are soft. Exhale. Slow, smooth exhalation. Last one. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Let the breath return to normal. As you're ready, slowly stretch the legs out straight. Shavasana, final relaxation pose. So lie down in a way that supports the lower back as needed. The back of the neck is long and the forehead and the gaze slightly slope naturally toward the heart. Separate the feet about as wide as the outside of the hips and let the feet naturally roll open to the sides. Take the arms to the sides of the torso, a little bit away from the arms so that the palms face, or bend the elbow, the hands down on that. Your eyes. Soften the soles of the feet and the palms of the hands. Relax the belly. Dissolve all tension in the face. Release the jaw. And let the eyes sink deep into the sockets so that there's a sense of space between the eyes and the eyes. And just slightly turn the gaze down and in toward the heart. Watch the breath and see the breath move inside the body. Let the breath lead you down into the center of you. So as you follow the breath all the way down in, it ends in the center of the heart. And hold your gaze there, even as you exhale. And practice seeing from the eyes of the heart. Eyes that see clearly beyond distortion, all that we are not always able to see. Rest there. Very gently open your breath. With the next deeper breath in, bend the elbows, place the palms on the torso. And feel the breath and see the breath move against your hands. One at a time, bend the knees, place the feet down on the ground. And supporting the head with the right arm, roll all the way to your right side. Press yourself up. Sit. Sitting well. Close your eyes.